Hello, and welcome to the live stream today. Want to know how to make millions in business, but you may be stuck at the five-figure mark? If so, you definitely want to pay attention to today's lesson because I'm going to talk about over the next few minutes. I'm going to walk you through 5 steps you can take on your journey to millions and give you a very strategic way to get there with government contracts. So, welcome to the live stream. I want to say hello to those who are joining in live and hello to those who will be watching the absolute replay. All right. So I'm Karwana D. I'm a government contract strategist. Glad to be back. Hello, Marie. How are you? I've spent the last decade and more helping small business owners land massive contracts with the government, as well as landing massive contract for the government myself for my own business. And so as I see you coming in, hello, Kenny. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi, Shakota. Hello, Alfreda. Good afternoon. How are you? I'm excited to be back. So one of the most amazing things at a part of this journey that I've been able to do was have a family and be able to put my kids first. So most of you who's been following me for a while, I'm really just returning from maternity leave. So as my own boss, I get to enjoy my baby. Bring him to work with me, all that stuff. And so I'm excited to even to not have to worry about asking for permission to take off, to go to a doctor's appointment, to none of that stuff. So those are the benefits of owning your own business and being your own boss. Thank you so much, Camille. Kenny says, I found a contract for elevator maintenance. Yeah, you'll be amazed at the different types of contracts um, you'll find out there, and that anybody can do this stuff, right? So you don't necessarily have to be in that lane in order to do that contract either. So I have some great gems I'm going to be sharing with you all today. Let me see who else is joining us. Good to have you back. Thank you, Camille. Hi, Yvonne. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be back, and yeah, it's been a minute. So, but I'm really glad to be back and getting back into the mood of things, and just looking forward to elevation. Not only am I elevating, and have I elevated over this past year, but I'm helping other small business owners like yourself elevate their business, land government contracts. Shout out to one of my YouTube followers, Tim. Can't remember Tim King, who actually have been following me, joining my lives, taking some of my low ticket courses, and actually landed his first $50,000 contract. So that's the first of many, right? That's the first of many. This stuff works when you work it. It works when you do the work, right? And so you have to be willing to do the work, take action, even if you get that no, because he got his first no that pushed him to getting his second yes, right? And so you can't give up because it works and it's there for you. So all you have to do is get in position, understand the steps, and just do this, right? So anyone could land a government contract. So hello, hi Ashley, hi Michelle. Michelle found contracts for insurance agents. Awesome. Yep, absolutely. So they have contracts for just about anything: insurance, real estate, wigs, catering. Like I know so many people that are doing catering services just out of their home, out of their truck or whatever. But you can land large, multiple six-figure contracts as a caterer, right? For a one-day event. And I'm talking about $200,000, $300,000 contracts for a one-day event. Or it may just be like a 2 or 3 day event, but still, these are sizable contracts. And so I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you all. So in this video, I'm going to help you put together a roadmap for this journey to millions of checkpoints that will help you understand where you are in your business journey to success. And so these are the exact checkpoints that has helped me to generate millions of dollars in business, but also to help my clients, as well as many of my colleagues are landing millions of dollars in government contracts to grow their business. So if you have a small business and you're not doing business with the government, and you're trying to figure things out right now, there's a lot of money on the table for you, and I'm pretty sure you want to know how to go after that. Yes or yes. Let me know in the chat if you want to know how to go after those contracts. So it says Nashruv. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name correctly. I know I butchered that, but greetings, hello to you. How many NAICS codes fall under Notary Republic? So well, there's only one NAICS code that fall under Notary Republic, but you have to be creative. So check out my YouTube video on how to get government contracts for Notary Public businesses. I go into a little bit of strategies of other ways that you can add additional NAICS codes, right? Complementary services that you can add to your capability statement. Lawanda, hello. She said yes. Facebook user says yes. So if you're joining me on Facebook and and you have not clicked on the StreamYard link for me to see your name, be sure to click on that link so that way it'll say more than just Facebook user. It'll say your name and I know who's commenting here. Janelle, yes, yes, and Alfreda says yes. All right, cool. So millionaire mindset, that's number one. So this is the 5 checkpoints, right? I want to share with you 5 steps that you guys can take on your way, on your journey to success. So if you are in the lane or if you're heading towards the lane of getting started with government contracts, then guess what? That means you are on your way to building a $1 million business. And I'm going to break it down because not everybody can grasp that concept. Not everybody can believe that this is something that you can do. And I'm not talking about, although it's possible, landing one contract that's $1 million. I'm talking about going after those low-hanging fruits, right? I'm talking about going after multiple contracts and seeing how simple it is, because these are large contracts for any small business owner, a regular person just like me and you know, just regular people are generating millions of dollars, right? I self-proclaimed myself a few years ago to be the first self-made millionaire, right? And on that journey, I didn't see how I was going to get there until I realized how powerful government contracting was. And that was my gateway to getting there. And so that can absolutely be your gateway to getting there as well. So anyway, so let's talk about these 5 steps, right? You can take on your journey to business success. The first thing is millionaire mindset. And you may hear, you may absolutely say, well, I know she's not going to talk about millionaire mindset and the mindset thing. And there's so many coaches talking about mindset, but guess what? Mindset is the first step to success. And when I say you're having a millionaire mindset, you have to believe it. What is your belief system, right? Are you saying it but feeling something totally opposite of that in your spirit? And if so, we have to get ourselves in alignment. You have to have a millionaire mindset in order to become that millionaire, right? You can't have a belief system that keeps you stuck, at the 5-figure mark or whatever. In order to be able to become this millionaire, there has to be some shifting, there has to be some growth, there have to be some changing and some pruning and things, right? So when it comes to that shift, right, you want to think about, like, what are my values, right? Are the things that I value of a millionaire mindset? Like, am I valuing, this is old and this is just an example, Jerry Springer TV shows, right? Am I valuing garbage, or am I valuing those things like being whole as a person and having a spiritual connection to whatever higher being, and prayer life, and what are the things that I'm valuing, and is it going to get me to where I want to go, right? So you want to think about your belief system and your values, and what are you consuming, right? And are you the type of person that runs up against difficulties or hurdles and give up? If so, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be a hard mountain to climb to that journey to millions. It's going to be a hard mountain to climb, because some people, like my client Tim, who just landed his $50,000 contract, that did not give up because one agency said no, right? So if no is a part of your thing, you know what I mean? It's a part of your universe. No makes you clamp down, close up, and give up, and throw in the towel and says this doesn't work, or they lied to me and said this is going to happen, but it didn't happen, right? Some people give up too soon, right? Growing up, like, most of I grew up in the church, and so James Cleveland, I think he has this song, it's called Reach Beyond the Break. If it's James Cleveland, it may be someone else, but I used to listen to these really old school gospel songs, and there's one that talks about right when you're thinking of giving up, reach beyond that breaking point. Reach beyond that, because your blessing is beyond that breaking point. So if you give up, then you abort everything that God has for you. You abort everything that was just on the other side of that breakthrough. And so reach beyond the break. So if no is going to discourage you, then this is not going to be something for you. You have to remember, millionaires, or ask yourself, what would a millionaire do? Remember, a few years ago we had those bracelets that said, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? You ask yourself before you make a decision, right? So in this journey in business, before you make a decision, ask yourself, in life or in business or whatever, before you make a serious decision, ask yourself, what would a millionaire do? If millions, becoming a millionaire is a part of your goal or your journey or your desire, what would a millionaire do in this situation, right? How are they focused, or are they all over the place? Are they chasing money, or are they chasing purpose, right? And so you don't want to go into a business. Excuse me, I do have a baby and he's working with me. So I may have to get up and grab him, but that's okay. That is the one of the benefits of working for myself. I can be here with my baby, so he may wake up. But just wanted to put that out there. So if y'all hear a little crying in the background, that's my little man. He's 6 weeks today. So anyway, what would a millionaire do? Like, are they focused or are they scatterbrained? Because a lot of small business owners, and ones that I've even worked with, right? They're in this program, they're learning this, they're learning that, they're learning all this stuff, and just learning. And I'm like, what of all the things that you're learning have you put into action? Let me see what your daily plan of action is. And if it says nothing but learn, then you're an information hoarder. So are you an information hoarder, or are you a person that will take action? Hi, I'm Melissa. So or are you taking action? And so having focus is a part of becoming a better person, and having focus is a part of that journey that you need to have along your way to becoming a millionaire, right? Being organized, right? And being committed, but most of all, being consistent. Consistency is key to anything. Because let's just say you're on your way to getting started with government contracts, but you only give it one day here, or whenever you think about it, I forgot, let me go over here and do that. You're not consistent. You're not going to get consistent results, right? If you're not consistent, it only elongates. That's not even a word, but it only makes the journey take a much longer time, right? In getting there. If you're not consistent, you have to be consistent. You have to be diligent. You have to be consistent in getting those certifications done. You have to be consistent in doing your renewals. You have to be consistent in looking for opportunities and bidding on them. That is the only way you're going to get results, is by doing the work. Okay. So having a millionaire mindset is number one. First step on my journey. Okay. The second step on the journey to millions is professional development. That is so key. Professional development. You can't get to a higher level being the person that you are right now, wherever you are. If you're at the 4-figure mark, if you're at the 5-figure mark, if you're not making nothing in your business and you want to go higher and you want to become this millionaire, you want to make your first 6 figures or multiple 6 figures, or you want to be, make that million or whatever, there has to be some growth, personal, professional development. Doing what you're doing right now on the level that you are is not going to work on this level. So what does that mean? That means I need to develop myself. I need to be different. I need to do different. I need to become different. There's some areas that I need to grow in. Whether those areas is I need to learn how to become focused and center myself. I need to learn how to be diligent and consistent, whatever that is, right? Professional development. It takes time to develop yourself. And how do you develop yourself? You develop yourself by learning, getting a coach, reading, like all of those things. Whatever it is that you want to become an expert in, you have to become an expert in that, which means you have to study yourself to be approved. Internet Day says educate myself is imperative. Yeah, it is. You have to educate yourself. You can't, if you decide that you want to sell your service to the Department of Defense, let's just say, as an example, what do you know about the Department of Defense? What services are they buying? What does their budget look like? Do they have a forecast of things they're going to be spending? Like all those things. Study to show yourself approved. Continue to professionally develop yourself, whether that's getting a coach, taking a class, learning something, reading some books, all that stuff. You have to become an expert. Know your craft, even, right? Whatever it is that you do that you want to sell, you want to know that industry. You want to know the pricing about that industry. That means it's going to take you some studying and some research to do that. That's all about professional development. I didn't get to where I am by staying who I was, right? I had to become and evolve, right? And that's the great thing about professional development, is because you evolve into this much better person. And then guess what? That bank account and everything about your life actually evolves along with you. So as you grow, realistically, your bank account grows with you. As you grow spiritually, you grow as a person, right? Everything is, becomes in alignment. Internet says know your craft. Absolutely. So okay, so number 3 is systems and strategy, right? Once you begin to develop your millionaire mindset, right, and you understand what and start thinking about study some millionaires. What is what are Tony Robbins and Les Brown and like all these multimillionaires? What do they do? How do they spend their mornings? What type of people do they hang around? Like, what is their health like? Like, do they exercise? Like all those things, right? Professional development, growing, studying, all that stuff. But then once you get to that point, the number 3 on my list is systems and strategy. You have to have a system and a strategy to getting to where you want to go, to becoming whoever it is that you want to be. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me grab this little man. Oh, baby. I saw you. You gonna go live with me? Oh, my baby. I'm woke up. I'll be right with y'all. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, you hot. Oh, him hot. Oh, he's so hot. Okay. All right. It's hot out here today. Say hello to everyone. This is my $1 million baby. This is who I do it for. My little man. His name is Sir Carter, y'all. You hot and sweaty, baby? Okay. So I'm going to get through this. In just a moment. Okay. All right, I'm back, you guys. Somebody say it's a blessing. Yeah, having success. Thank you. Having systems in place is definitely. Yeah, he has a lot of hair. Thank you, Alfreda. It's definitely going to be key. So systems and strategies, right? Whether it's your system or you're borrowing someone else's system, you have to find a system. Everything. So they say, I don't know if you ever heard of the term success leaves clues, right? That means that on that success that's leaving a clue, there's a blueprint, there's a system, there's a strategy to getting that thing done, right? I know, I already know what you want. Let me see if I can work that without exposing myself to the camera. Thank you, Michelle. So we're talking about systems and strategies, right, you guys? Having a system, having a strategy to getting there. What is your success? What is your system to your journey to millions? Let me know that if you have one. If you have a system, let me know in the chat. What is your system? And if not, you definitely want to teach too. Yeah. You definitely want to borrow a system, right? Okay, so getting back to the systems and strategies is sometimes you may have to invest in yourself, right? In order to get that system, whether it's getting a coach, paying someone to do it for you, investing time, because time is an investment, right? These are exchanges. Time is a currency. In fact, it's one of the most valuable currencies that you can give. Is more valuable than monetary currency is your time, right? So when you're growing and developing yourself and creating systems, you want to think about how are you investing in that, right? Whether it's any of those above, time, money, taking a, finding a coach, someone that can let you or teach you their system for success that worked, right? That absolutely works. And one thing that I want to say about, yeah, thank you, Lawanda. One thing I want to say, she says, the beauty of working for yourself. Um, it is the beautiful, and that's why I do it. And this is what I love the most, is the fact that I can be with him, right? Um, and still come on here and share some nuggets with you guys. So I'm still doing what I love to do, right? At the same time. So one thing I learned about exchanges, and this is one of the biggest hiccups that I see among small business owners, right? And y'all know I'm just gonna say it. Is a lot of them don't believe in investing in themselves, right? They don't want to invest in themselves. They'll go invest in a car that may break down and cost you money, and it's a liability. They'll go invest in an expensive $1,000 purse, which I would never do, red bottom heels, all that stuff. But when it comes time to invest in your business, that can bring you unlimited income potential right now. And if you have a business right now, there's so much money out there, the grants, there's PPP loans, there's EIDL loans, there's all this money out here that can pay you more over time than what you even begin to invest in that business. But people will not invest in their business. They'll say, I have heard, oh, it costs, let's just an example. Oh, I got to pay $500 to learn how to make 50,000. Come on. It does not make any sense. It's an exchange. It's not about paying someone. It's about believing in yourself enough to make that currency exchange so that you can learn what you need to learn in order to get to where you want to get. Because that one thing that you're investing in is going to show you step by step how to get to where you want to get. It only makes sense to invest in that. The return on investment is going to come, but most people say, oh, is it going to bring me a return on my investment? You don't know. Your result is up to you. Like your result and your how, if you're going to be successful, that is up to you. Are you going to do the work? Right? That's more of the question, because if someone used the blueprint to get X, Y, and Z result, that means that blueprint gets you to X, Y, Z result, regardless of who you are. Right? The key is, if you want to invest in that blueprint so that you also can get to X, Y, Z result, that means you have to do the work to get there, because the blueprint works. Now, will you work it? That's the question, right? And so thank you, Nazori. Yeah, that's $45,500 more than what they had to begin. And that's just the first. So now Tim actually was in one of my $500 level courses. He landed his first $50,000 contract. Now you do the math on the return on investment. But also, that's just the first of many. That's the smallest of the ones that he will get, right? So he's on his way to the journey of millions, and now he understands exactly how to go after contracts, how to win them, how to market himself, and so on and so forth, right? So you tell me if investing in yourself is worth it, right? So you definitely want to think about systems and strategies and how you can invest in yourself to develop a system and strategy, because you need that, right? So for an example, the reason why I say that is because I know that same practice creates same results, right? So if you're doing the same thing, right, and if you think what you've been doing is going to look different tomorrow than it did yesterday, it doesn't work like that, right? So you need a new system, right? How are you going to invest in that system? And like I said, it could be reading, it could be it could be getting a coach, it could be buying a course, it could be anything, right? So you have to understand the power of investing in yourself. But also, the reason why I say that and talk about systems and strategies and investing in yourself is specifically for government contracts. There's $9 trillion. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Last year, or 2019, the government spent $9 trillion on products and services. These are the products and services that you guys are talking about here: elevator maintenance, insurance, buying wigs. Believe it or not, the government, they buy wigs, all that stuff. The services that you offer, your business services. They spent $9 trillion. And this is just on the federal spend level. So that's over, that's just when you think about the state, what's being spent on the state level and on your city and county local level, it's just a gazillion dollars out there being spent by the government every single year, every single day, every single minute. They're procuring and buying stuff, not only stuff, but services, right? They're buying things. So 26% of that their spend is obligated to go to small business owners. So that's over $2.3 trillion that's on the table that's obligated and mandated to go to small business owners just like you. So that's a guaranteed pool of money that's being spent with you on your business services. My question, and I want you to let me know in the chat, is are you getting your piece of the pie? If you're getting your piece of the pie, let me know in the chat. Are you getting your piece of the pie? If not, everybody that says no in the chat, I want you to listen closely, okay? Because I'm going to have something for you at the end. Tarisha says, I'm in the process of starting an e-commerce coffee line. Cool. Congratulations. That's super awesome, because not only can you make money in e-commerce, but you can also sell that coffee to the government. So Samantha says no. Hi, Jacinda. Jacinda says not yet. Alfreda says no. Kenny says no. Do you want your piece of the pie? Let me see. All these no's. That's money on the table. Money on the table. And guess what? All of you all that says no, Janelle, all of you that says no, you're not getting your piece of the pie. And I know you want it. I'm pretty sure you want your piece of the pie. That money is missed, right? That money that you're leaving on the table, when they don't spend it, they lose it. So, and they don't want to lose budgets. They want to get their budgets increased so they can spend more. So what that means is they're waiting for you. Alfreda says, I want my piece of the pie. Jacinta says, I want my pieces. That means they're waiting for you. So what are you going to do to show up, right? And to get your piece of the pie, you have to be willing to put in the work, the time, get a system, get a strategy, do some professional development, right? Plan it out and make it and take action, make it happen for yourself, right? So anyway, so what I want to say about that is $2.3 trillion is on the table designated for you right now, right? And you want it. A lot of you have said you want it. Anyone want it? Kenny says, anyone want a network, pricing? Okay, so and I know that you want it. So here's the thing, right? When it comes to government contracting, there's 3 levels of spending, right? Ideally, there's 3 levels of spending, and I'm gonna break it down like I've never broken it down before. I'm gonna break it down like I've never broken it down before. The first level is micro purchases. A micro purchase is any purchase that the government makes under $10,000, right? Micro purchases. That means they have a credit card. These are not things that you bid on. If they know you exist, if you're certified in the system, if you have a capability, say you're marketing yourself to them and they know that you're around, right? Maybe you're registered in SAM, maybe you're in the dynamic business name search, right? And they go through that database and find you and they say, oh, I need to get, who said they were e-commerce selling? Let me see. You say you were going to be selling something. Something you were going to be doing. I can't find it. But anyway. Wait, somebody says I'm working on my first big contract now. Congratulations. Wow. That's awesome. So anyway, whatever you're selling on e-com coffee, right? Let's just say they want to buy some coffee and they want to, fill the whole building with coffee or whatever. So they have a $10,000 card that they can just make a purchase, right? Thank you for that, Tarisha. $10,000 card that they can just swipe and make a purchase. You ain't got to bid on it. None of that stuff. They'll call you and say, "Hey, I see that you're certified in the system as a small business, right? We want to buy coffee. We want to buy 10 tons of coffee or whatever, right? Can you give us a quote?" They'll say, "Well, we have a budget of $10,000. Can you give us a quote?" And with micro purchases, because you don't have to bid on it, because they can just call you up and just give you that contract. Now, if you say, well, I want to buy, 10 cups of coffee, and you say, okay, it's going to cost you $10,000. Guess what? They're not going to say, oh, you charge $1,000 per cup. They're not going to say that because it's called a micro purchase. It'll cost them more to go do the research on whether or not that coffee is worth $1,000 a cup than it would for them to just swipe their $10,000 card. So they'll do that, right? So that means how many let me see, I have a spreadsheet I want to bring up for you guys if I can find it. But what that means is, here it is right here. How many $10,000 swipes does it take for you to get to your first 100,000 or for you to get to your millions, your first million? How many $10,000 swipes will it take for you to get there? Let me see if I can I want to bring up this little spreadsheet for you guys. See if I can share my screen. So how many swipes does it take? Understanding the principle of how micro purchases work. So this is what I was looking for right here. I found it. Okay. So this is a little spreadsheet, the Journey to Millions, basically a spreadsheet that I created to let you know, so you can do the math and visually understand how business works and how you can get there faster and what you need to do, what type of action you could be taking, in the background in order to get to your first million. All right. So let's just say you're selling coffee. Now the government is swiping their card $10,000 at a time. So let's just say you got a $10,000 contract, right? And your goal is to get to $1 million. That means you need 8 contracts a year to reach $1 million. 8 contracts, is that right? No, that can't be right. Wait. So $10,000, your goal is to make $1 million. Oh, wait, no, you need 8 a month. So you need to sell, you need to sell to the government 8 times a month or whatever. So you need 100. So basically you need 100 of those swipes, right, in a 12-month period in order to make your to meet your goal. So let's just say and that's micro purchases, right? And so the second part of that type of spending that the government does is they spend between 30,000 and 250,000, right? That's what's called a simplified acquisition, right? So simplified acquisition is anything that's over $10,000 but under $250,000. That means it doesn't have to go out to bid. So for those who are in beta.sam, you're looking for contracting opportunities and you're like, they don't never post nothing here. This is the reason why, because the government agencies have a right to basically solicit and to purchase things under $250,000, and they don't have to market it. They don't have to put it out to bid. They don't have to ask for multiple quotes or none of that stuff. They can sole source it to you. So again, if you're in the system, right? If you're in their system, they know you exist because you've marketed yourself to them. Amy says, I'm in Texas. I'm a notary. I've been watching all your videos. I'm big time interested. Cool. So yes, they know that you exist, right? And they have a project that they want to or something that they want to purchase from you. And, basically they can swipe their card. Well, they can write you a check for $250,000 at a time. And they can do it unlimitedly, right? They can say, hey, such and such, again, I want your coffee, but we want a whole truckload of it, and it's our budget max is $250,000. You'll be like, okay, well, I'll charge you $250,000 per truck. And they're like, fine, let me write this check. Now you have a contract. It never show up on beta.sam. That's why you don't see things out there, because it's under what's called simplified acquisition. Now, how many contracts would you have to get to your millions if they're swiping their card for $250,000 for a year? 4 per year, right? So when you're thinking about pricing, and a lot of people are asking about pricing, how do you do your pricing and all those things? You want to really think about these things, because some people just want to go after the $1 million contracts. Some people just want to go after those $500,000 contracts. But that $50,000 contract that Tim, my client Tim, recently just landed falls into simplified acquisitions, which means that they could have just called and gave it to him. He didn't have to bid or none of that stuff on it. And so can you, right? So if you understand how the government spends, professional development, study to show yourself approved, learn what you need to learn. How do they roll out their budgets? How are they spending? All this stuff is found in what's called the Federal Acquisitions Regulations, the FARs. So if you Google FARs, Federal Acquisition Regulations, you can read all that stuff. It's hard to understand sometimes, but really just take your time and read it. It'll talk about simplified acquisitions and below the threshold, which is like below $10,000 market micro purchases, right? And so once you understand how the government spends, it makes it so much easier than looking at $9 trillion, right? $9 trillion becomes unbelievable. But if you break it down to, okay, well, I can go after a $250,000 contract and by just building a relationship with this procurement officer that I found puts out contracts for the services that I provide or for the products that I sell, right? Let me build a relationship with them. So next time they come across a contracting opportunity under that threshold, they'll think of me. And they know that I can fulfill on that contract, right? Those are strategies, systems and strategies. Those are strategies, right? That's just an example of a strategy that you can use. Hey, plan it out. I'm gonna go after so many that's 10,000 and under. Go after so many that's between 30,000 and 250,000 under. That is my journey to millions. That is my plan. How many do I need to land to get to that million? Anybody can make $1 million. Now one contract that I've had, helped me generate 245,000 in a 6-month period. That's a lot. That's a pretty nice size contract. So in a 6-month period. So let's just say you do that twice in a year. That's a $500,000 a year, right? So if you do that 4 times in a year, right? Just shorten the time period. If you do that every quarter or whatever, that's $1 million business. So it's so easy to, when you look at it from that perspective, it's so easy to, to see yourself as a millionaire, especially with government contracts. It's so easy to get that done. So let me read some of these comments here. Let me see. What did you say? Zuri says micro purchase threshold for EPA assistance agreements has been increased from $3,500 to $10,000. Yep. So and that's just all across, not just the EPA, but all across. So the micro purchase is anything 10,000 and under. And simplified acquisitions threshold, has increased from 150 to 250,000. That's the max, but it starts at 30,000. So it starts at 30,000 and goes up to 250,000. So it sounds like you do your homework. So if you say you are working on landing your first big contract, I believe that because you are, you're studying to show yourself approved. Marie says it will take a government contract to get there for me. Yeah. So belief system, right? What is your belief system? It depends on what you sell. You never know how you're going to get there, right? So government contracts can help you get there faster, but yeah, there's so many other ways. And I've seen so many other ways to, make $1 million, but it starts with the mindset and what you tell yourself, how you believe that you can get there, right? Kenny says, wow, very detailed. Yes, I do try to be very detailed. Hi, Rayshella from Florida. Love the last name, Forbes. Okay, let me see. I'm completely new to this. Is there a government contract for notary? That's a good question. Yes. Hi, Janelle. So absolutely, yeah, there are government contracts for notary public service. In fact, I was just sharing that I have a previous training on YouTube about how to get government contracts for notary businesses. So if you look that up, you'll be very, very empowered and educated on how to land contracts with the government. So any industry, any service, pretty much you can land a government contract. Even if you think there's contracts for shining shoes, okay? There's contracts out there for pulling up carpet, pulling out carpet. And I'm talking about $250,000 contract to go in and pull out carpet. Who can't do that? Like you can get your sons, your nephews, your uncles. You can get a whole crew. You can go outside and pull some kids off the corner and have them pull that carpet out, right? And you can do that. But it's all about positioning and executing. And there's so many things to learn. So here's another thing that I want to share. There's so many things to learn when it comes to government, when it comes to just doing business with the government. You're never going to learn it all in one class, in one course, and it's going to be continued education. But what you want to learn is a blueprint to landing your first contract, right? Because that allows you to land multiple, because now you have a blueprint. And as you're learning, as you're landing these multiple contracts, you can also continue the professional development, continue learning about FARs and simplified acquisitions and GSA schedules, and all that other stuff is just extra knowledge. But what you want to get to, and hopefully this is what you want to get to, is to the millions. You want to get to that as quickly as possible, right? And that comes by having a system, having a strategy, right? So that's you can be a subcontractor. Yep, you can also be a subcontractor. Tamika says, completely new to this as well. Just started my bookkeeping company. For you, do you think there are contracts for my business? Yes, absolutely. There's all different type of contracting opportunities for bookkeeping, accounting, payroll, like all those different types of things. So email me in the chat, Tamika. Oh, that's Zuri. Okay. Watching your video is what got me interested in the notary. It was amazing for something, I was aiming for something else, but as I watched, I got into the notary. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad that, my videos you guys are finding very helpful and informative. I aim to inform, right? Inform, empower, educate, inspire, all those things. That's my aim. Okay. So anyway, that was number 3, systems and strategies. Number 4, acceptance, right? Acceptance. And what I mean about acceptance, no, step 4 on your journey to millions is being able to accept where you are, right? Acceptance, accept responsibility, because a lot of times, and this is just like small business people in general, a lot of times, they look for people to blame, right? They look for reasons for things not to work, people to blame for it not working for them. You have to do the work. You have to get up. If at first you don't succeed, get up, dust yourself off, and try again. Go review some things, right? And sometimes people, just are looking for, other people to blame for their failures, or they self-sabotage on purpose or whatever. I don't know what it is, but you have to be willing to accept where you are. This is where I am. I'm stuck at 5 figures. This is where I am. But I do accept responsibility. Is my responsibility to achieve what I want to achieve. It's my responsibility to apply what I'm learning in order to get the success, right? Your success is solely dependent upon you, right? It may not happen tomorrow. And that's the thing. Some people think it's a get rich quick scheme. Some people think it's going to happen overnight. And for some people, it do happen overnight. It does happen overnight. I've had some clients who started landing contracts in 3 months. I've had some who started landing contracts in 8 weeks, right? For some, it does happen overnight. But for others, the journey may take a little bit longer, right? Because maybe there's some more professional development, some more learning that you need to do. Or maybe there's a different system or strategy that you need to take for your particular type of service, right? Janelle says, step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, take accountability for your actions. Absolutely. Take accountability for your actions. So acceptance, right? And then lastly on my list, number 5, during your on your journey to millions, one of the most important things that you could have at this point is commitment. You have to be committed. You cannot start what do you call that? A tea business, selling teas one day, and then you selling makeup the next day, and the next day you selling $5 jewelry. You have to be committed to what you want to do. You have to be committed. If you think about, so Zori, I love you. She says, know your niche. Absolutely. You have to be committed. So that is the difference. That's when you know when someone is chasing money, like when you're chasing money in dollars. You could be in here and over there. There's no commitment. There's no long-term commitment for you to stick around and see if it's going to work, to get up and dust yourself off, to try again, and to develop yourself and to invest. There's no commitment because you're chasing the wrong thing. But when you chase purpose, it's a whole different ball game. What is your purpose? Is whether your purpose is like, I just want to be a janitorial business and one of the best and the first, woman-owned janitorial business on the East Coast or whatever, who was able to take my $0 business and turn it into a multi-billion-dollar company in record time, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you can accomplish that, but you have to be committed to that. That means that if you have to start off with one person, it's just you doing the work, do that. That means that if you submit 5 bids on government contracts and they all say no, commitment comes from learning from that no, asking, well, why did you decline me 5 times? They may say, well, we can tell by your pricing that you don't that you're not qualified, or you don't really know what you're doing, or that you're going to be upside down in your contract because you're pricing too low, right? That's a learning experience. That's not an experience. That's not a time to get mad or get upset and say, oh, they told me I'm gonna be upside down, or whatever, or I'm unqualified or whatever. No, it's a learning experience. So now if they gave you the hint that you're charging too low, double, triple, quadruple your price until they say you're charging too high. Find your sweet spot, right? So being committed, this is a journey. You have to really be committed to becoming a successful business in government, especially when it comes to government contracts. You have to be committed. You have to be willing to stay the race. You know that it works because people are landing contracts. Period. You know that it works because there are laws and regulations that govern that this money is there for you. You know that it works because they actually have contracting opportunities out there with that you can bid on. So it works. Spending this money is being spent. It works, right? So stay the race. Stay the race. Be committed and stay the race. So anyway, the great thing is about all that I'm saying on your journey to millions with government contracts is that one of the things, there's 3 things that I want to kind of sum up. Vendors are not vendors, well, not vendors, agencies are not always putting things on SAM. Okay, so you have to understand how everything works, how pricing works, and why you don't see a lot of things in SAM. Also, there's not a whole lot of things. SAM is not the only source for bidding opportunity. It's not. Most people are stuck on SAM, but there's other things, right? There's state agencies that put out bidding on their websites. There's city and county things on their website. And so on and so forth, right? But you do have to be in their face. You have to advertise yourself. You have to understand. You have to market your capabilities. Do you have a capability statement? There's ways to market yourself to the government. There's a specific strategic way to market yourself to the government. And you can also land a sole source contract, which means that you can land a contract that you never had to bid on. They can just call you and say, hey, can you provide a quote for that? You can land that. That happens. The one thing that I want to announce that we have coming up, before I'm going to answer this question, by Awaken, are there contracts for coaching? Yes, there are. There absolutely are. In fact, the Small Business Development Center, which is a local government agency, falls under the local city and county. It's the SBA that falls under the local city and county. Their representatives or their small business advocates and assistants and coaches there, those are contracts. And so a lot of times I see those go out for bid, or they're looking for, bidding opportunities or whatever. But you can also, if there's not an opportunity that in your city for coaching small business owners, you can take your coaching bid or proposal to the city and county and have them create one. because there's definitely a need, especially for small businesses right now. But to answer your questions, yes, there definitely are contracts for coaching. Okay, so what we have coming up in October, you guys are the first to actually hear about it. We're actually launching a new program called GovCon JumpStart. This is where you can jumpstart your government contracts business, right? And just to give you a little bit of details, a detail about it is, it's going to be a 1-day workshop live with me, right? In 1 day, we are going to get you certified federal. You're going to become a federal contractor, help you put together your marketing, show you where to find the contracting opportunities, and then how to submit your first bid. Boom. Right? So we're going to do a live 1-day workshop. Everything is going to be live. So for those of you who are not currently registered in SAM, we're going to go through SAM registration. We're going to go through Dun and Brad's. We're going to go through all that, a whole checklist of things, right? And in that 1 day, within a few days, you'll be ready to bid. You'll have a strategy. You'll have a blueprint. You'll have a roadmap. And this is the first time I'm actually testing and trying out this strategy live. Okay. So there is an investment into that. And for those who actually register early, that investment, well, Stacia, are you here? Because I didn't even get the link. I just thought about that. For those who register early, that investment, there's going to be a $200 discount off. So the investment is going to be $997. That's $997, right? It's first time we're doing it. And there's going to be a $200 off for those who register early. So it'll be, you can be able to get it for $797. Okay. And we're going to do a drawing. So one of you who register early, I'm actually going to draw your name so that I will be doing your certification, your capability statement, your marketing and everything. I'll be doing that live for the demo. So that means I'll be doing it live for you. Now, small businesses pay thousands of dollars for me to do that service. You're going to get that for free, right? So I'm going to be doing that service live for someone. We don't have the exact date just yet. I'm just actually just prefacing and letting you know that it's coming up. I think we may have the date. I think I haven't talked to Stacia. I thought she was going to be on here to post the link for you guys, but anyway, we're going to do that. We're going to do that live coming up in October. It's going to be on a Saturday, and I think it's going to be on around the 24th or whatever that Saturday is before the Halloween, weekend or whatever. So you're going to be able to understand to go after those simplified acquisitions and below the threshold contracts, because we're going to work together in this 1-day live workshop to get you fully qualified and give you a complete system to going after those contracts. Reason being is I want you to get that quick win, right? Because I have a whole full coaching program, right? I want you to get that quick win, because as you're making money, now you're in position and you can be focused enough to want to learn the full system of how to go after state, local, and all the other money that's on the table. So we're going to do some just a quick jump start to landing your first contract. And I think that's super awesome. Do we have to be pre-qualified to enroll? Okay, so another question, that's a really good question. So another thing is, so we're going to end the enrollment at a certain date because there's going to be a pre-qualifications checklist, right? So yes, you have to be pre-qualified by the day of the workshop, but ahead of time, we're going to send you the checklist and exactly what you need to have to bring to the workshop so that we can all work on this together. So we're going to actually go through the actual whole SAM registration and attack that beast. We're going to go through the whole capability statement so you can understand how to market yourself to the government. We're going to actually go through bids, and so that you can know how to respond to that bid and how to submit your bid, but also how to market yourself proactively so that when those simplified acquisitions and micro purchase opportunities arise, you're at the top of mind for those procurement officers. They can just call you and say, hey, send us a quote. That's it. Okay. Thank you, Jacinda. All right. So anyway, let me see if she is on. Oh, there you go. I was like, where are you at? Cause I started talking and I didn't even have the link yet. So my bad. So yeah, so join today. You get $200 off. There should be some payment options on there as well. You either pay up front, or there's a payment option where you can make installment payments. But govconjumpstart.com is where you would go to get registered. But this 1 day workshop, you will be able to understand how and fully become a federal government contractor live. We're going to do that live, right? The marketing, all that stuff, simplified acquisitions, threshold marketing, how to market yourself, get on their radar. We're going to do all that live in a 1 day workshop. All right. So October 23rd. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So Marie Davis, what if I haven't yet? Yeah, that's what you want to bring. So you want to bring. So we're going to have a checklist of things that you want to make sure you have. And if you don't have, you want to get before the day of the workshop. So all of that is going to go out. So if you already have your EIN and you're Dun and Brad, perfect, right? Because we're not going to be doing that part live, but you're going to need that in order for us to do the real stuff to get you to landing your first contract in record time. And I think this is so amazing. Understanding how money works with the government and how to quickly put you in position. Now, you're not going to know the whole gamut about government contracting in this one workshop. There's going to be more. You can continue your education later, but we want to get you to the first contract at least. You want to do that in record time, okay? The 200, we have 24 hours from the time you stop this live to get this discount. What? No. So for the $200 off, no, it's going to be a expiration date, a cutoff date. It should be on the website. I don't know what that date is. I have people working on that that part. But yeah, if you can get it in now, get it in now. Say $200. There should be a payment plan on the website for you to be able to pay it in 2 installments or whatever. I just need my capability statement. So Missouri, yeah. So we're going to be working on all that. We're going to be working on all that. So if you want to, join us or whatever, feel free to join us, because we're going to be working on real strategies to help you understand, once you're certified, what to do with that, right? And then beyond that, you'll receive an invitation to work with me inside of my larger program, where we go after city, state, federal, all those contracts, how to do the RFPs, RFQs, RFIs, like all that stuff. There's so much more to learn. And again, you want to continue your education. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. And me and baby today. Again, go to govconjumpstart.com to get yourself registered, to save your seat, and we'll be submitting out information of your checklist of what you need to have for the day of the workshop. And those who join early during the discount period, I'm going to be drawing a name to do it for you. I'll be actually doing your whole registration, getting you qualified and all that stuff for you live during the demonstration on the workshop. Okay. Kenny, Zuri, oh, y'all talking. Take my email. Okay, cool. He'll send you an outline. All right, perfect. All right, so have a great week. I'll talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in our YouTube or Facebook group, and we'll definitely, reach out and get those questions answered for you. But have a great week, and don't forget the 5 steps that you have to take, on your journey to millions, which includes having a millionaire mindset, professionally developing yourself, right, by having continued education, getting a system and strategy, accepting where you are and accepting responsibility for where you want to go, right? And even in this workshop, the results that you get is going to be up on you, right? You are responsible for your results. I can only show you the way. But you have to take action and you have to be committed, which is number 5. All right. So we'll see you next time, and enjoy your weekend.